Hey traders, hope you are well. Welcome to the A1 Trading channel and our weekly outlook for gold and silver. The last 2 weeks we've called it pretty well, so if you made money in that, make sure you hit the like button. If you're not subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button with notifications on so you know when we upload a video. So gold, let's start with gold. It's had a decent impulse to the upside at the time of filming here on this last hour. The bullish scenario for gold would be if this is considered a head and shoulders and we're looking to break above this resistance zone. Now it's important to note at this time of recording, this candle has not closed. So we can see buyers trying to push this above this area, but we are getting some reaction. We are getting some sellers coming in because it's struggling right now to close above the area. So it'll be interesting to see if this candle indeed does close above this resistance zone, in which case there is a case there, considering we've got a head and shoulders pattern here and our confluence on the daily, which I'll go into in a second, that gold could rise and possibly test this anchor to the downtrend. So it is important to note that we are still in a longer term downtrend on gold. We can see that on the daily chart. So we've had impulse, corrective, impulse, corrective, impulse. Possibly we're in that corrective back to roughly around that 20 period. Now, again, the bullish case here is we've got a decent bullish engulfer at the support zone. Notice the last time we were here, this is the reaction we got from price action. Markets have a memory, so people will remember this reaction and possibly think this is happening again, which is why we're getting buyers coming in at the support zone. So this pullback or potential corrective does look slightly different from the last two we've had. So the bias of trend continuation is possibly not as strong this week as it was in the last two. In terms of trend, we would have to break this daily anchor to change that from a downtrend to a possible uptrend by breaking and closing above that area, which is obviously a few days away potentially. So I think it's important to look at this area now and wait for that confirmation of a close above or rejection and a possible sellers coming back, taking into control and going with that longer term trend. Another scenario we could be in for on this daily chart, if this bullish engulfer does take and buyers do take control, is possibly this. We could get our larger time frame cut with handle before continuation to the downside. So my personal bias, you're expecting a kind of pullback, slight pullback here on these smaller time frames because it has moved quite well. However, big indication here on this 4 hour, if we can get a closure above this level, you could see some bullish momentum. If we don't, we could say sellers can take control and possible movement to the downside. So we're at decision point, I would say. The path of least resistance is still to the downside, but there are signs there that gold potentially want to rise. So just wait for that confirmation. Let the market tell you what it wants to do and then play that direction. Okay, silver. Now, as we expect, silver's taking a little bit of a bullish run because you'd expect the movements to correlate slightly with gold. However, the charts do look a little bit different. So for our last 2 weeks, the bias was to the downside. But again, with silver, this is slightly shifted and we're back into possibly this area where maybe we range for a little while. So for me on this 4 hour chart on silver, you're looking again for a break and close above this area or a break and close below this area. This price action is bullish. We attempted that retest and notice the candles on this retest were certainly bullish. So in terms of trend continuation from this fall, it wasn't really looking great. And that's exactly what we got. We got a push through. Slight bearish engulfer here as well as a hammer. So whether this momentum is stalling to the upside, we have to wait and see. But for me, considering where we are on the chart, we have to wait for confirmation of a break above this level and a breaking close, that's important, or a breaking close below this level for continuing that long-term trend. Silver daily chart is still bearish. This is still quite nice. We've had a decent impulse to the downside here. Again, we could just be in for a possible longer corrective than the one we slightly got below this area. We didn't really expect this to come back up after a decent move to the downside. But if we take this structure as a whole, possibly we need something bigger for trend continuation to the downside. Maybe a complex corrective. Maybe we're retesting this area again for continuation to the downside. The only thing that would possibly change that sentiment is if we get price action, something like this. Our head and shoulders, a trend change indicator, and a break above here then there is that case for silver to the upside. But again, you've got that resistance. You've got a few barriers to price moving because the path of these resistance is to the downside. So that's important to note with our counter trend trades, is you'll have some barriers to this moving to the upside. However, at the moment, you're waiting really for that closure on this 4 hour out of this area for indication on where silver wants to go. There is again that argument. You can see it a bit more clearer on this 4 hour of a head and shoulders here. If it does come down to retest the support area, be interesting to see what the market does at that area. And again, let the market make the decision for you and then play that decision that they make. Let's react rather than predict. And yeah, for me, waiting for that confirmation would be the best option in silver. So if you like that video, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you're interested in more gold and silver analysis, A1 have a Telegram. The link for that is in the description. And I'll see you guys next week for the next video. And remember, trade safe.
What's up guys, thanks for watching today's video. There are more videos available on our channel here and here, so go ahead and click into that for some more free trading content. With that said, thanks for watching. We'll see you back next time.